What's good, guys? We're back at it again with another video. As you see from the title, today we're going to be talking about the differences between the different levels of college basketball: D1, D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO. We're going to talk about every single one of those levels and the skill gap in between all of those levels. I was just talking to a coach at a Division I school yesterday, and we're talking about a certain player who had D2 offers. He had D3 NAIA offers, but wouldn't take any of them. I was trying to explain to the coach that the mindset for a lot of players is, oh, if I don't go D1, I don't want to play in college. Like, D1 is the only place where I want to play at. That's where I'm going to have the biggest stage. Everyone's going to be able to see me. But what players don't understand is there are great programs at every single level. And to be completely honest, there are D2s, NAIAs. There are some institutions that are at lower levels than Division I that have better facilities, funding, crowds, and a lot of other things than schools that are at the Division I level. Let's talk about it. I do have to say this before I get into it. I completely understand as a player why you would think, oh, I just want to go D1, and if I can't, I don't want to play in college at all. Because when I was playing, we had social media. It wasn't as crazy as it is now, but we still had it. So all the players who were posting their offers, guess what? They had a lot of followers, and they had all the mixtapes all over their page, and they had a level of celebrity while still being high school basketball players. So of course, as a 15, 16, 17-year-old, that's what I'm gonna chase. That's what I want, is that level of fame, the followers, the likes, the mixtapes. That's what I'm gonna chase. I'm a kid. Why I'm making this video is to let players understand that there are other levels other than the Division I level where you will get the same experience, and in some cases, you might get an even better one than if you went to a lower level Division I school. I'll speak to the skill gap first because there's a common misconception that D1 basketball and its players are all the way up here and D2, D3, JUCO, NAIA are all the way down here, when I promise you that is not the case at all. The D1 level, the biggest difference is the speed of the game is way faster, so there are better athletes at that level. Your guards are going to be bigger, stronger, faster. They're going to be able to jump higher. Your bigs are going to be 6'7", 6'8", and up, and they're going to be able to move, and they're going to be able to jump, and that's where you're going to be able to find your footers, right? You don't really see a lot of 7-footers in levels other than Division I unless they're extremely raw, because you can't teach size. And at the D1 level, when you're 7 foot, usually they can find a spot for you somewhere on the roster. Now, that's not to say that at the high major level there isn't a skill gap, because at the high major level you're going to have your 5 stars, high level 4 stars, dudes that have size, length, and skill, the whole package. But there is a drop off from high major and the rest of D1 basketball. And the rest of D1 basketball is where I'm talking about the skill difference is the same. Think about a player like me, right? When I stepped on campus, I was 6'6" 3/4. That was my measured height for my first physical when I stepped on campus. That is very undersized for a Division I center. In fact, there was a player I used to play in high school. He was 6'6", not 6'6" 3/4, close to 6'7". He was a 6'6" big man, and I'm telling you, every time we played that dude, he was dominant, getting every rebound, finishing strong in the paint, making moves out of the high post. I honestly considered him a better basketball player than me, fully, completely. He went D2, I went D1. You know why? Even though I thought he was a better basketball player than me, my wingspan was 7'2", and I can jump higher than him. That's what I want to get across to you guys. The biggest differentiator between that rest of Division I and everybody else is size, length, and athleticism. At the D2 level, it's literally just a step under Division I. Remember that high major D1 and this is the rest of D1. When we talk about the rest of D1 and D2, it's literally like right here in terms of skill level. The biggest difference between D2 and D1 is the bigs. When I said I probably should have been a Division II center, it's because that's where you're going to find your 6'5", 6'6" big men. Instead of at the Division I level, you'll have 6'8", 6'9", 7 foot. At the guard spot, it's actually pretty similar in skill level and size, D1 to D2. Sometimes it literally could just be oh, this coach saw this player before he saw this player, so we took him instead of him, so that's why this other player had to go D2. You have a lot of situations like that. There are a lot of guards at the D2 level who could be extremely effective at the mid-major Division I level, or especially at the low-major Division I level. I had a teammate who transferred from a D2 in Florida. He averaged, I think, 17. It was his freshman or sophomore year, transferred D1. In his first collegiate Division I basketball game, he had a double-double. A double-double. So when I tell you I've seen it live that the skill difference is not that big of a gap, again, the biggest difference is between high major D1s and D2, D3, and AI. It's not the rest of the crop, mid-major and below. That skill level is not going to be that much of a difference. Now, to continue with that story, the season went on, and I don't know if it was because he came from a D2 or what, but his minutes started to drop. And then all of a sudden he ended up transferring back to D2 so that his skills could be utilized how he wanted them to be. I got another story off of that. My freshman year, we had a player on our team. He was about 6'5", 6'6", could play the 3, 4, or 5. Never got into a game, but he was really effective in practice, just could never break into the rotation. So that player ended up transferring to the Division II level, was a D2 All-American, rewrote the record books at his new school. I'm talking about scoring, everything. Like, this was one of the best Division II basketball players in the country. Ended up going overseas and having a professional career. So I say that to say this. Players have to be aware of situation. You can go to a Division I because that's your dream and that's your goal and you really want to do it and you want to play at that level so bad. But understand at that Division I level, they're going to be bringing in 3 stars, 4 stars after you, year after year after year. You're going to have that much competition and sometimes you can get lost in the mix. If you go D2, and you are a D1 talent, guess what you're going to do? You're going to dominate. You're going to be a D2 All-American. You're going to get a lot of minutes. You're going to be able to really show your game and expand your game, which can lead you having a professional career. Kids have to think about this. Okay, I want to play D1 so bad, but is it worth me just sitting the bench, or should I go D2 where I can really show my talents, get off, and get a pro contract? We're going to talk about NAIA next because as I've talked to coaches and seen certain things, when you talk about the level of competition, level of talent, it really goes D1, D2, NAIA, D3. JUCO, of course, is a 2-year institution. At the NAIA level, that's where you're going to find the biggest collections of dudes who went D1 out of high school. They might have been there 1 or 2 years. It didn't work out. So they usually transfer to NAIA, get their game off. Maybe they had something happen with their grades or something like that where they couldn't get eligible. So they go NAIA. And that's where you're going to find a lot of hidden talent is at the NAIA level. I've told this story I don't know how many times on the channel. We play Kaiser University. We all thinking it's an easy game. It's light. It's an NAIA. Man, they almost beat us. They almost beat us. I was guarding a big 6'10", first play of the game, get the ball, sidestep 3 right in my face. And I'm like, hold on, this is who we're playing? They had talent almost at every single position because, like I just said, at the NAIA level, you're going to have a lot of guys who went D1 and just had to come down to NAIA, or they just wanted to go somewhere where they can really show how talented they are and get their games off. I think there were maybe 2 players at the NAIA level this year that went NAIA to D1. There's a lot of talent at the NAIA level. Granted, it is in some of the upper level programs. Same thing with D3, but the talent is there. The talent is there in the NAIA level, in the D2 level, D3 level. They can beat Division I programs. I've seen it happen. It happens all the time. It almost happened to me. I'm telling you, this is what I'm really trying to get across to all of you guys. When you look at the levels, don't just look at D1 and think that that's the only goal and that's the only place you should want to play. No, at D2, NAIA, D3, at all these different levels, you can have a great experience. And guess what? I've always been a person who said this. If you are as good as you say you are, you should have no problem going D2 and proving that you are as good as you say you are, then go D1. Go D3, do the same thing. Go NAIA, do the same thing. If you are as talented and you believe you're a D1 talent and you go to these lower levels, you should dominate. And guess what? Coaches are looking in that transfer portal right now more than any time else for talent. I'm telling you, there are coaches looking in there every single day. So if you're at these other levels and you really want to play at the D1 level that bad, go NAIA, go D2, go D3. Show you really like that, and I promise you, they will come find you. In this day and age, when there's so many kids that want scholarships, that want to play at the college level, there really isn't a lot of time to just, oh, I have 5 D2 offers, but I want to wait for that D1. There isn't a lot of time for that. I'm telling you, if you wait too long, you won't have anywhere to play. I get a lot of comments like that saying, oh, bro, I have a D2 offer, but I want to wait for that D1. Or I have 3 NAIA offers and maybe some D2 interest, but I still only want to go D1. I'm telling you, especially now, take the opportunities that have been afforded to you and maximize them. If you can hoop and you can play, they will come find you. Not to mention, I didn't really talk too much about this. We'll probably make a whole video about this at some point, but there are a lot of schools at the NAIA level, at the D2 level, at the D3 level that have better facilities than Division I schools. Trust me, I have been all around the country playing at different arenas. I did it. I've seen schools that have way, way better facilities than schools at the Division I level that are supposed to have all this funding, all this money. Also, there are a lot of D1 schools who might have big arenas, but they don't have a lot of fans come to the games. I won't lie, even when I was playing in college, I was at schools that would have some pretty decent sized arenas, but there were times where we wouldn't have a lot of people in the crowds. There are schools at the D2 level, NAIA level, D3 level that are sold out every single game, win or losing season. Win or losing season, they're sold out. I'm telling you, you might want to check out those experiences before you just cross them off your list. Like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I appreciate you guys watching. Remember, if you want the one-on-one evaluations or the breakdowns that go on the channel, hit my website, bti@basketball.com in the description. Also, if you have any questions for me, need any advice, you can hit my link for Noodle in the description, or you can also go to my website and hit that bottom right corner, that widget, it'll pop up. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys next time with the next video.